All right, these are the answers to our videos so that we don't have to watch their bad videos. The first one says, what is the slope of the line that goes through here and here? So there's two ways to do this. You could try to graph those. -1, -6 is down here, and 4, -2 is here, and try to ask yourself, how much do I go up and how much do I go over? To get from -6 up to -2, you would go up 4 spots. And to get from -1 over to 4, you would go over 5 spots. So we go up 4 over 5, and that means D is our slope. The other idea would be to go y value minus y value over x minus x, and that would give you -4 over -5, which is the same as 4/5. One way or the other, that's how we would approach that one. All right. Number 2 says, in the standard plane, what's the slope that's perpendicular to this? So we need to find out what this slope is, which means we need to get y by itself. So I'm going to subtract 4x, and that's going to give us -5y equals -4x plus 15. And then we're going to divide by -5 on everybody. And we get y equals 4/5 x, and then this becomes a -3. Now, we don't necessarily care. That's the y-intercept. We don't necessarily care about that. We're looking at this slope. The slope of this line is 4/5. We want to be perpendicular to it. And if you remember back in October or whenever we did this, a perpendicular slope is the opposite reciprocal, meaning we're going to flip that and take the opposite, and that gives us j here. Okay. So we had to find the slope first, do a little bit of algebra, and then flip that around. This next one we haven't done yet. We're about to do it. In fact, next week we're going to be doing this. So what we're going to learn is that we can take this x plus 5, x minus 6, and we can make a little box here, and we're going to multiply this. So we're going to go x times x is x squared, 5 times x is 5x, -6 times x is -6x, 5 times -6 is -30. And that's going to give us an x squared. -6x plus 5x is a -x, and then we have a -30. Okay, so we're going to learn to do that. That's actually not too bad, so that's a little preview for you. And then we're going to multiply by -4, and then we're just going to distribute. And so that gives us -4x squared. -4 times negative is +4x, and then a +120, which gives us j right there. So again, that's a little preview for next week. In a month or so, we're going to learn how to do number 4. And what we're actually going to learn is that when you do this, the sum of the solutions is going to be the opposite of the number that's sitting right here. So this answer is just as simple as knowing what that number tells us. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be trying to find numbers that multiply to equal this and add to equal that, and then we'll work it all out and stuff. But again, that's for another chapter or so. We'll do the factoring in a little bit, but not yet. This we should know. The sum of j and k is 34. So I can go j plus k equals 34. Their difference is 8. So j minus 8 equals 8. Oh, I'm sorry, j minus k. All right. So if I add these equations together, I get 2j equals 42, so that means j equals 21. Right? Now, if I plug that back into either one, say I put it in for the top, that means k equals 13. All right, so if I do 21 times 13, I'm going to get 273, and that's our answer then. And then this one says a deli sells turkey sandwiches and pints potato. Julie pays $19 for 2 turkeys. So I'm going to go 2 turkey and 3 pints, and that was $19. Ashton does 4 turkey sandwiches and 1 pint for $23. Right? So I want something to cancel here. I'm going to go ahead and do the route of taking the top times -2 and getting -4t minus 6p equals -38. If I add these together now, those cancel. I get -5p equals -15. So a pint of potato salad costs $3. Okay. If I put that back in, 2 turkey sandwiches plus 3 times 3, $9 equals 19. So 2 turkey sandwiches are $10. That means a turkey sandwich is $5. Again, we've done that before. It's not too bad. All right, then this worksheet, some of this we can do, some of this we can't. It says Central High School, there are 2 teachers for every 35 students. I'm going to put that as a ratio, 2 teachers to every 35 students. Okay. If the school has a total of 805 students, so I want that on the same line as students here. It says how many teachers do we have. Now this is how I would set it up. I don't know how you did it in middle school, but this is how I would do it. And then we're going to cross multiply. I'm going to go 2 times 805, which is 1610, equals 35 times x, so 35x. And then we're going to divide by 35 now. So if you do 1610 divided by 35, we're going to get 46, which is B. Okay. There's some other ways that you can do it. Maybe you had a way from middle school that you did, but that's the way I would do it there. All right. For this one here, it says in this figure below, and you can read, it says this length is 14, and they want to know what this length is. And you have these choices. Now, if you just kind of look at it, and again, some of these aren't drawn to scale, but if I look at that, boy, that sure does look like that's about half of this, right? And of my choices, there's only one that's close to half, and that's 7. And that's actually the answer. Now, there's other reasons for why it's going to be the answer, and you'll learn those in geometry. But just sometimes it's just be smart, right? Look at it. What does it look like it equals? That sometimes will work for you. All right. This one says Roberto's designing a circular fire pit. It'll have a diameter of 5 feet. So you have a circle, diameter is the distance across, 5 feet. Which of the following is closest to the length in feet of the edging that goes around it? So you don't, I know there's a formula for it, but if you don't remember the formula, again, you could just do some kind of educated guessing. So 5 is going to probably be just a little bit short, like this distance here is probably more than 5, right? Maybe it's a little bit more than 5. This distance will be a little more than 5. So you're going to have 5 here, and then some more left over. So it should be, 13 to 17, somewhere in there. If I'm looking at it, 8's way too short. These are way too much, right? And so maybe 16's a good enough guess for something if I just kind of look at it and think about it. And you'll learn that the distance around a circle is pi times the diameter. Pi is about 3.14. So if you do 3.14 times 5, you get about 16, right? So that's, so 16 is our answer. This one here says they have a garden that's 30 feet by 21 feet. All right, so 21 by 30. That gives us a total of 630 total acres here, or square feet. Now, the mother and father each plant vegetables in twice as many spaces. So they're going to have, we're going to go like 2x for mom, 2x for dad. And then each of their 3 children have a space. So each of them have a space. So 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 plots in this garden, and they're all equal plots. So if I divide by 7, each of those plots are 90 feet. Okay? Now it says how many total square feet will be planted by children. You see 90 is an option. They're trying to trick you. Remember, they have 3 children. If each one does 90, 3 times 90 is 270. So this is a case where you could be thinking about it clearly, but accidentally picked the wrong one because you didn't finish that problem out. All right, in a certain rectangle, the ratio of the length of 2 adjacent sides is 7 to 2. So you have this rectangle here, and this is something like this, 2 times x, 7 times x, right? Like this is 7 to every 2 of those. If the area of the rectangle is 126, what's the length of the shorter side? So when I multiply these 2 together, I get 126. So 2x times 7x, 14x squared is equal to 126, right? So if I do 126 divided by 14, I get 9. So x squared equals 9. And if you take the square root of that, you'll get x equal to 3. The shorter side is 2 times x, so 2 times 3 gives us 6. Now again, these last 2 you're going to learn in geometry, but I'll show you just real quick in case you were curious. The measure of CBD is 20, all right? And we're told that these are equal. Now because they're equal, that means their angles are going to be equal. That means this is also 20 up here, all right? So this 20 and that right there make 110 for this angle. Now, if you look at this triangle here, you have 110 degrees for this angle and you have 20 degrees for this angle. All the angles in a triangle add up to 180. So 110 plus 20 is 130. Take that off 180. And angle CAD would have to be 50. Now, again, that doesn't look like 90, and it doesn't, certainly not bigger than 90. So we could at least try to guess between those, right? And knowing that that one was 20 and this one's a little bit bigger, probably get rid of 20. So if you guess between 40 and 50, those are pretty good guesses there, all right? And then this one here, we're told that this angle is 25. You're gonna learn with parallel lines that these angles inside like this are the same measure, so that's also 25. This is a line, which is 180 degrees. So if this is 25, that means this is 155 degrees right here. Okay. And for the same argument, this is the line right here. This is 100, so this angle must be 80. Again, here's a triangle. All of them add up to 180. So if you did 180 minus this, you would get 75 for x. 75 plus 155 is 230. All right. Again, some of this you're going to learn in geometry, so no big deal, but that's the answers to that.